2 years ago, I made a video talking about a tweet from SonicFox in which they detailed how they learn a new fighting game. And SonicFox is one known for being very good at fighting games, but also learning them very quickly. And so I took this advice to heart, and I really tried to follow it when I was getting into Dragon Ball FighterZ. And that didn't end up lasting too long. I didn't like Dragon Ball very much. But the advice itself was solid, and I believed in it, so I started to use a little bit more as I progressed throughout Street Fighter. And so today I want to share with you SonicFox's 5-step method for learning a new fighting game. We're going to be using Street Fighter 6 as our canvas, if you will, and this time I really want to do their advice some justice, because the last video I made 2 years ago was absolutely terrible, and don't go looking for it. It does not exist anymore. General gameplay mechanics. These are options that every single character and every single person who touches the game has. Think drive impact, drive parry, drive rush, and drive reversal. It's one thing to look up at this bar and down at this bar and say, yeah, I know all my options. I read them on the website. What are you talking about? I did the tutorial. I know all of my options. And it's another thing to say that I understand them, that I know how much meter it uses. I know how to combo into it. I know how to get there from neutral. I know how to take this resource and apply it, and I know the consequences that come with it. That's overall what you want to know when it comes to these universal gameplay mechanics. It's not an overnight thing. You're not gonna go to sleep and wake up and understand every mechanic in the game and how to apply it, but it's a good place to start, to understand the options that everybody has. And I know we're only on the first step, but I don't want you to feel like I'm coming at you like an authority, like I'm higher than you, I'm better than you. I'm not. I've got my own notebook. I'm taking my own notes as I'm making the damn video. It's been 3 days, right? Even I don't know this shit yet. So we can learn together, right? We can learn together. Now let's talk step 2, character archetypes. Now this is where two roads diverge, because based on how you read SonicFox's original tweet, you might have a different interpretation. I don't know if SonicFox meant their character's archetype or character archetypes in general, like within the game. I think because it says archetype, like one, it's their character or your character, right? So we'll go based on that assumption. If we take a look at the Street Fighter 6 character select, some of the archetypes are very obvious, right? You have Dhalsim, you have Guile, you have JP, that are all zoners. These are characters that want to keep people out. They want to use their long range to keep people out, whether that's projectiles, whether it's spikes coming up out of the ground or down from above, or whether it's their stretchy little limbs. They want to keep people out. Their objective is pretty cut and dry. They know what they want to do. And then, of course, you have your Shotos like Ryu, Ken. I like to say Luke. Some people don't like to say Luke. You have people like Marissa, who is a juggernaut. She's big, she's strong, she has armor, she hits super hard, but she's kind of slow, right? You have mix-up characters like Kimberly and DJ and maybe even Blanca to some extent. I don't know. If you play Blanca, you know his archetype better than I do. You've got your grapplers who want to get in. They want to make you scared. They want to they want to throw you. They want to grapple you. They want to fucking command grab you for 50%. They want in. They're almost the opposite of the zoners. And they're a little bit similar to rushdown characters, if you will, who want to also just get in and pressure you, but in a little bit of a different way. It's important to understand the archetype of your character because it kind of gives you an idea of what their goal is gameplay-wise, and it gives you an idea of what the moves that they have been given are used for. But with that said, don't let the archetype become a box. Don't let it like stifle your creativity when it comes to playing the character. You can do things that you can do crazy things within the confines of your archetype. Remember Rushdown Dhalsim in Street Fighter V? That shit should have never existed, but Dhalsim was given the tools and people figured out how to use it. Even though he was a zoner, he could still rush you down with the best of them. And on to my favorite topic, neutral. This is that intricate dance that you do with your opponent. It is very abstract and it is very hard to explain. It will require me 3 PhDs, an MBA, a CIA, and NSA to fucking even try and explain it to you. I am just not qualified is what I'm trying to say. Instead, I'm going to give you some damn homework, okay? I'm like the substitute teacher, and I'm going to give you the busy work, but the busy work in this case is actually probably revolutionary for you, and it's going to change how you see fighting games and how you play them. Before you get in too deep, just make sure you understand like the fundamentals. You know how pokes work, and you know how to get around fireballs and anti-air and things like that. At least understand them. You don't have to anti-air every jump. You don't have to get around every single fireball, but at least have some decent fundamentals before you jump too far into the deep end and you overwhelm yourself. This is a little bit more advanced, right? There's other videos that are a little bit more simple and they teach you how to get around a fireball, how to DP, stuff like that. This is getting to kind of that next level, going from beginner to an intermediate. But the first video you can take a look at that'll introduce you to the concept of footsies and the footsies trilemma. This is actually how Japanese players introduce new players to the concept of neutral. and footsies, and it's really useful. It's only 3 minutes 30 seconds. If you have zoomer brain or you have a low attention span, I'm sure even you can sit through it and get a little bit interested. I mean, I have zoomer brain, right? I have 2 fucking monitors. Half the time something's playing on this one, and on the little one I'm doing something completely different. But I promise you, if you sit down and just focus on the video for 3 minutes 30 seconds or 4 minutes, however long it is, you will get something out of it. And you might have to watch it multiple times, but do it. Just do it. And once you watch that primer, I need you to take a trip to the Holy Land. I need you to take a trip over to Juicebox FGC's explanation of footsies. This video is like a guiding light for me, brother. I will come back to this video and watch it all fucking, 48 minutes of it multiple times. I've watched this video probably 4 or 5 times. It's like a feature-length film for me. I really enjoy it, and I think the way that Juicebox explains things, I just get it. It's 48 minutes. It's like a college fucking lecture length on neutral. Watch it, please. Let's group steps 4 and 5 together, because I think they almost go hand in hand, and I think it's easier to explain that way. Punishment and combos. Simply put, if my opponent does X, then I can do Y to punish that action. And we start to get into frame data and a little bit more complicated stuff. Not that frame data is complicated, but I know it's overwhelming for some people. Now, there's 2 types of punishes. Whiff punishes, which are a little bit more tricky, but were covered in those footsies videos that I posted. So go and watch those if you want to learn more about whiff punishing. We're just going to talk about basic punish practice and understanding how it pertains to you and your character, and how it can help you build into combos from neutral. So all I did was select punish from the training mode menu, and what that does is set the bot to do a wake up dragon punch when they get knocked down. So we're going to do that. I'm going to block it. Simply just going to punish, right? I know that wasn't much of a punish, right? You're probably like, where's the combo at? Where's the big combo? That was a huge DP, super negative. That's super punishable. What are you doing? We didn't get there yet, okay? Relax. Combos are the last step. We'll get there in a second. I just need to understand conceptually, a punish is taking advantage of your opponent putting themselves in an unsafe state, and you can now get guaranteed damage because they can't block. They're recovering. So now that you have this whole foundation of understanding neutral and you know how to punish people and things like that, we can talk about combos. Because you can sit in training mode all day and practice a combo and then go into the game and never hit it because you don't know how to transition into that combo, how to convert into that combo. But now that you've watched all 4 steps and you watched all these footsies videos and you understand what punishing is, you can get into your combo. And this is where you can start getting creative based on how punishable something is or how much advantage you get for, hitting a certain button and doing things like that. This is where you really start to optimize and understand frame data so that you can understand what is possible. For example, if I block reuse DP here, maybe initially I do this, right? It's the first couple days. I don't really understand my character. So I'm just going to do stand medium punch into crescent kick. But over time, you start to understand the mechanics. You start to understand neutral a little bit better. You start to feel more comfortable. You start to understand how punishable things are, and you can do more advanced things like this. Right? And then I get a little meta level. These 5 steps just really build upon each other super well, and it emphasizes a strong fundamental base before you just jump into the deep end and start doing a bunch of combos. Even though that's really fun, once you want to learn to start like actually competing and beating people and winning and having a good time, this is a method that really works. I'll put the tweet on the screen during my little outro here because I know I didn't show it too many times during the video. But I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. And if you did, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you again very soon.